Motive Racing's GT3 Championship on the PlayStation 5 platform headed to Spa-Francorchamps for round 4 of the season. Once again, Jazzman and Titus in the house, the main contenders in the qualifying session.
But Titus here through Blanchimont and down towards the bus stop chicane. What can he do here? He's got 4 tenths to find. Hasn't got much really to Jazzman. Jazzman's taken a clean sweep of poles so far this season, 3 from 3, but Titus in the races has taken a clean sweep. He's taken 3 from 3 in the races. So Jazzman, the qualifying specialist, Titus, a bit of a race up towards the line. Titus can't improve at the moment, stays in P2 for now.
So a great lap there from Jazzman, 4 tenths clear once again, but was that going to be enough for him come the race?
It's going to be Jazzman starting on pole position ahead of his championship rival. Jazzman now 4 poles from 4 races so far this season, but Titus in the house, the man starting alongside him on the front row, should I say, in second place, has taken all 3 wins so far this season. So Jazzman will be wanting to convert this pole. It'd be the first time he could do that this season if he's able to do that.
So the tensions were building here on the formation lap as the pack made their way down the Camel Straight. Of course, the 2 contenders very much getting ready for another assault around Spa-Francorchamps, but also the rest of them as well. As we could see, Rompu, Emrosh and a funny looking guy all looking to scrap it out for the podium spots. But in the end, it was Jazzman who took his first win of the season, finally breaking his duck after an incredible number of pole positions, doing a fantastic race and didn't really put a foot wrong, and doing some celebratory donuts at the end to cap it off. Titus did come around to take P2 in the end, but a well-deserved win there from Jazzman in the end. So the championship looking like this, Titus in the house and Jazzman now tied on 166 points. So it's going to be all to play for in the final 2 races of the season. Battle for third in the championship, best of the rest. Dakuno is still heading the way in that one. He's pulled a little way clear of Emrosh and Krukip, and Raki starting to bring himself into that battle. Spells in 7th place, and Rompu, I think, a little bit out of that one now, unfortunately. Make sure you join us next Sunday, or this coming Sunday, at Zolder for the next round of the season. Practice will be on from 6 p.m, but the qualifying will be on at 7:30 with the race from around 7:45. Like and subscribe, guys, and join us again. We'll see you very soon. Take care, everybody. See you later.
Got a bit of a hesitation there as he couldn't go through Rompu, and there you go. Emrosh looking to the inside of Rompu, up through Radion they come for the first time, but Jazzman holds on to the lead. Titus though has got a fantastic run here coming down the Camel Straight. I don't think he's picking up enough of the slipstream though to really get around him coming up towards the Lacoum. He's going to try and look underneath him here, but Jazzman's going to hold that inside line as he knows to leave the door open. Titus a little bit too far back to make anything happen there into the Lacoum for the first time, but it's Jazzman from Titus, from Emrosh, from Dakuno. A funny looking guy losing out there. Rompu's dropped back a few places here. He's down to 7th place. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive channel. We're back here for our PlayStation GT3 night here on a Sunday night. We just had the PlayStation 4 drivers. We have now got the PS5 out on the track once again here at Zolder for what promises to be another exciting night of racing. The championship battle between Tynus in the house and Jazzman continues to rage on to this fifth round of the season, the penultimate round of the season. It's Tynus leading the way, as for some reason, I know why, apologies for that. I just went into studio mode and was started to play around with the controls and thought I was moving the actual racing action window, but it wasn't. It was the leaderboard, it was the championship standings window that I was actually playing with. So apologies, but we're just going to get those championship standings up in a second, guys. I do apologise for that. OBS is a bloody nightmare at the best of times. Absolute nightmare. I had it perfectly sized so it would fit on the screen before, and now it's just no. Right, there we go. So top 21 drivers in the championship. I was tried to make it nice and neat and tidy to have the top 20, but nonetheless, Tynus in the house leading the way on 166 points, tied with Jazzman also on 166. So it comes down to these final two rounds. Currently 3/10 separating him in this qualifying session, but it is so close between these top two. Who is going to prevail in this one? It's going to be edgy over these last couple of rounds. Currently tonight, 3/10 separating them in that qualifying leaderboard. MVG third in the standings, ahead of Mrosh in fourth on this current leaderboard at this point. A funny looking guy, P5 at the moment, so it's all very close for between the rest of them, but the top two just head and shoulders above the rest of the drivers here tonight. And absolute credit to Jazzman and Tynus in the house, because they have been fighting out in the championship throughout this whole season. As let's jump on board with Jazzman as he's coming through the final few corners of the lap. He's just coming into the final sector here. 5.5 minutes left in this session. He's done a 1 minute 27.8 so far as Jazzman, so he's really been on it. I remember seeing he said in the Discord in the build up to this one he did a 27.4 in a league race before, so let's see if he can improve on that as he's coming out of the final corner and up towards the line. What can Jazzman put on the board here? Can he dip into the low 1 minute 27s? Up towards the line comes Jazzman. Not for the time being. He stays on a 27.8. We've got Tynus coming through the chicane. Oh, he goes wide. He's gone deep. That will be a invalid lap time there for Tynus. Ron through the best of the rest at the moment. He has got himself into third place in this session, 8/10 off of that provisional pole time. MVGT sat in fourth at the moment in this session, ahead of a fun looking guy who sits in P5. Give us a minute, guys. We're just going to jump off for a second. I just need to go grab something. everyone, we're back on here for the closing stages of the qualifying session here. Jazzman just improved his lap time, his provisional pole time about a tenth of a second, dipped into the 27.7s. Tynus in the house looks like he's brought it into the pits, so he's not going to improve in this one. So Jazzman is going to take his 5th pole in 5th races, but can he rub salt in the wounds here? He's got about half a lap left to go here at Zolder in this qualifying session. He will be on pole position, but can he absolutely stamp down his authority? Everybody else except the Kuno in the pits and Trail Rider. In fact, the Kuno's come in. Trail Rider still out there at the moment, as is High Grade and Scuderia Paul. As we see Paul coming up towards the line, can't improve on P17. High Grade has got a few corners left to go at the moment. Trail Rider is just coming out of the final corner. Up towards the line comes Trail Rider. What can Trail Rider put on the board here? Currently P8 in this session. Can he move himself up the order a little bit? Up towards the line. He does. He goes P5. So Trail Rider makes a few places up there. Jazzman slows down before the line. So Jazzman was not an improvement by the looks of it. High Grade up towards the line. Can he improve? He does. He moves up into P14. So few drivers changing positions there, but the same old story. We've seen this a few times this season. Jazzman taking another pole position here at Motive on the PS5. So Jazzman, the 27.7, 4/10 clear of Tynus in the house in second. Rompu third on the grid, and only 9/10 off of the pole time, so he's not too far away from the big two is Rompu. MVGT in fourth ahead of Trail Rider fifth. Cheese Monkey on his debut in the PlayStation 5 GT3 League will start in P6 ahead of a funny looking guy in seventh, followed by the Kuno in eighth. Nelio ninth ahead of M Rush in 10th. Then we're going to have Sharka Zulu in 11th, Rukukip in 12th, Leximate 13th ahead of High Grade in 14th, Spuzz in 15th, Raki down in 16th. Always goes better in the races. Raki will be one to watch over the course of the next hour. Scuderia Paul in 17th ahead of Seki Andre in 18th spot, Kevin 19th with Stones in 20th place, and Rusta Rebel will round out the grid in 21st spot. But Jazzman once again, oh goodness me, Jazzman once again, oh for God's sake, doing absolutely brilliantly here tonight, and absolute credit to the Motive Racing Leagues is Jazzman and Tynus as well. These two have put on an incredible show this season in the PS5 leagues. These two tied on points coming into this penultimate round of the season. One of them's got to give over the course of tonight. Who's going to be leading going into the championship decider? We'll have to obviously wait and see on that one. We've got JR in the comments. Welcome along, JR. Good to see you, mate. He says, let's go Rompu, and good luck Raki and Paul. So he's getting behind this Run DJC boys here tonight. Hopefully we can see Rompu on the podium. Maybe even trouble the top two, possibly. I mean, if they trip over each other, Rompu's going to be Johnny on the spot. But even if they don't, let's hope we can keep up with them and put them under pressure in this race. That would be great to see Rompu being able to do that. But coming towards the end of this qualifying session, guys, the qualifying session is done. We're just waiting on the game now to put us through to the next session. Drop a like on the video if you're enjoying. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and join us at www.motiveracing.com if you want to get involved in the on-track action. If you're watching for the first time and you think, oh, I'd like some of this, then go to www.motiveracing.com. You can sign up to our leagues via our partners, simleaguepro.com, but obviously go via www.motiveracing.com, and then you'll get redirected to the official league pages where all of our admins, all of our standings, everything to do with our leagues, all of our calendars are on simleaguepro.com, and it's got all of the info related to the championships. All you need to do is sign up. One of us will approve you or disapprove you if we've seen you in public servers and we don't like you. Joking. But honestly, if you want to get involved, please do so. You know, you get live commentary, live stream on all the races, also analysis and highlights throughout the week, which I will get uploaded usually in the midweek for the Sunday GT3 leagues. So yeah, plenty to get excited about here. A Discord server full of drivers who are willing to help, people who practice throughout the week. We got a dedicated PS5 server and a dedicated PS4 server as well. What's not to like? Come along, guys, check it out. But we're getting ready to go here for the formation lap, ladies and gentlemen. Slap that like button. We will catch you on the other side of this formation lap for the race start in a few moments' time.
through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make so alive, make it last forever. Stop in time, yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, coming out of the final corner, getting ready to go racing once again here at Motive on the PlayStation 5 for the penultimate round of the season. Jazzman and Tynus in the house, tied on points, 1 and 2 on this formation as they're coming up towards the line, and we are green. We are racing now up towards turn 1 we come. Tynus sticking to the outside of Jazzman, on board with Rompu as we come through the corner, and Tynus is going to look to try and get the inside for turn 2. He's got on the outside of Jazzman. Is he going to send one down the inside into turn 2? They're going to be side by side into the corner. Jazzman holds it around the outside as Tynus tags the curb a little bit on the inside, gets a little bit of a squirrel on, but holding up for the time being. And Jazzman leads us coming up towards turn 4 at a clean start from those two, and Rompu running in third place just behind. MVGT has been is just behind Rompu at the moment, and then you've got Trail Rider Cheese Monkey absolutely hassling the back here of Trail Rider down towards the turn 5 we come, as we've also got Rompu having a look here, but a funny looking guy has got Cheese Monkey just in front of him there. Funny looking guy though has been squeezed out a little bit, and you can see the number 48 car of Shaka Zulu is moving up a position there, moving up ahead of the Kuno. So Shaka Zulu into 8th place, but Jazzman leading the race ahead of Tynus in the house at the moment. Half a second between them, and Rompu is already dropping off in the middle a little bit. In fact, Tynus has got ahead of Jazzman. Tynus has done Jazzman, so he was looking like he was going to maybe get a move into turn 2 and 3. In the end, couldn't get it done. But Tynus is now in the lead of the race, and Jazzman in P2 right on the back of him at the moment. But that will be frustrating for Jazzman. Took his first win of the season last week at Spa after so long coming second to Tynus. Tynus has got that ascendancy in the early stages of this race here. He's got his elbows out and he's got P1 to show for it. Rompu, MVGT, Cheese Monkey all over the back of Trail Rider as they're coming over to complete the first lap. You've got Sharka Zulu trying to put the pressure on a funny looking guy. In fact, he's got ahead of him. So funny looking guy's lost out a couple of positions there. He's dropped behind Dacuno as well, and he's dropped behind SOP Nelio. So a funny looking guy losing 3 places. Oh, he tags the pit wall there into turn 1. Crew Kip looking down the inside, gets the move done there on him. Or has he? No, a funny looking guy manages to keep it around the outside. No, Crew Kip's looking back down the inside for turn 2, but a funny looking guy holds it around the outside. Great racing there from those. Raki's made up a few places here. He's into 14th place. We know that Raki always goes better in the races. He's trying to put the pressure on Spuzz, but Spuzz just behind Scuderia Paul, batting it over 12th place. You got Russ the Rebel just behind Kev at the moment. Sakin Andredo's on the back of Raki, and you got a couple of seconds back to Lexi, mate, high grade. A few seconds further back off of him as well. Stones and Emrosh keep still going in this race, but Jazzman is trying to get back onto the back of Tynus in the house. Is he going to play it cool? Try and play the waiting game in this one. Try and be patient, or is he going to try and send one? Is he going to try and put Tynus under pressure early? Tynus has done him very early on in this race, but Jazzman knows there's still plenty of time in this race. Still a lot of laps left to go, and still the opportunities will present themselves if Tynus were to make a mistake. MV on the back of Rompu right now. Trail Rider sticking to the back of these like glue at this point. Cheese Monkey's still with them as well. Sharka Zulu a couple of seconds further back off of Dacuno. You've got SOP Nelio trying to put the pressure on Dacuno, and a funny guy very close, but we're behind these as well as Scuderia Paul and Crew Kip continue to battle out for 11th and 12th places. Sakin Andre about just under a second behind Crew Kip. Kev there running in 14th ahead of Russ the Rebel. You've got Lexi, mate, dropping off at the back of these a little bit there in 16th, and Raki's had a mistake somewhere because he's down to 17th place. Didn't see what happened there to Raki. He's gone from 14th to 17th there. High grade Spuzz. What's happened to Spuzz? I reckon Raki and Spuzz must have made a mistake. They must have had a collision, because both of those two have fallen back down the order. Stones and Emrosh still going. Emrosh started from the pits. Obviously is closing up onto the back of Stones a little bit right now though. But Spuzz is down in 20th place, so what has gone off there? He's lost out to Stones now as well, so he's falling backwards here. Gap at the front, 2/10 between Tynus and Jazzman. Jazzman has got the pace over Tynus. He seems to have the advantage in terms of overall speed, but Tynus has got that track position, having got the lead at the start of the race. It seems like Tynus is better at dealing with cold tyres than Jazzman is, because Tynus seems to get the better starts than Jazzman, and then Jazzman seems to have the pace once he's got the tyres up to temperature. But Tynus very good out of the blocks, and Jazzman now looking underneath Tynus. He's going to try and make the move here. He's going to look down the inside here. Is he going to send one? He is going to send one. Jazzman's going to go balls to the wall here. Tynus sees him coming, gives him the space on the inside, and Jazzman moves himself into the lead of the race. Great stuff from these two, but now Tynus is going to try and get the inside for the final corner, and he's just about got the front of that car. He's got the bonnet alongside the rear bumper there of Jazzman. Jazzman covers the inside. Can Tynus get the cut back out of the last corner? No, Jazzman completes that move up into the lead of the race. Tynus though with the slipstream is going to try and come back at him coming down the start for this straight, as we see Tynus now defending to the inside. Jazzman defending to the inside. Tynus sending one down the inside. Oh, a very tight gap there, and he's going to push it wide. No, he's not. Jazzman sees that one coming and gets the cut back beautifully there out of turn 1 and moves himself back up into the lead of the race. He saw that coming from a mile off. Tynus just went absolutely full on send it into turn 1. There wasn't really a gap there, but he went for it anyway. But Jazzman is now in the lead of the race and now has the ascendancy. The two championship contenders putting on a show here in the early stages of this race. This is absolutely fantastic stuff, as there are a couple of seconds now. In fact, actually, Rompu's closed up onto the back of Tynus with that little mistake from Tynus into turn 1. Rompu is now very much in this picture, and MVGT can see this unfolding in front of him as well. Trail Rider still on the back of MVGT. Cheese Monkey going with him at the moment, and then a couple of seconds further back to Sharka Zulu running in 7th place at the moment. But it's all go in the early laps here at Zolder for the PS5 GT3s here. Penultimate round of the season. The two championship contenders are going at it, hammer and tongs here out the front. They're miles ahead of the rest of them in the championship, but they're tied on points at the moment with this round and next week still to go, and 4/10 between them as Tynus looking to try and get back onto Jazzman and come back at him over the course of this race. Great stuff here from these two, as the funny looking guy's got ahead of Nelio up into 9th place and can now try and focus his attention on Sharka Zulu and Dacuno, who are a couple of seconds up the road from him. Sakin Andre all over Scuderia Paul. These two battling it out over 12th and 13th places, as we see Scuderia Paul a little bit deep coming into the penultimate corner. Gets away with it though. That was close there for Scooter Red Bull though. Rust the Rebel close on the back of High Grade at the moment, but these two have been scrapping it for the last few laps. Emrosh has picked off Stones and is now on the back of Spuzz by the looks of it, so Spuzz continuing to struggle here in this race a little bit, but back to the battle at the front, 4/10 of a second between these two. Cheese Monkey's dropped off a little bit off of Trail Rider. Trail Rider's lost the back of MVGT a bit, so those two now spreading out a little bit. And what's happened with Leximate? Leximate's on the back of, in fact he's got ahead of a funny looking guy. Funny looking guy's dropping down the order. Oh no, what has happened to a funny looking guy? He's just got loose there out of the final corner, and Spuzz is going to move through up into 18th place, so a funny looking guy continuing to lose places here in this race. Emrosh gets through as well, and a funny looking guy down to 20th place in this race. What has this man got to do to catch a break? Last week at Spa he ended up retiring in the early laps. This time out he's now down behind. Obviously we just see Spuzz and Emrosh getting ahead of him, so he's down to 20th place here in this race, and a funny looking guy cannot seem to catch a break this season. He'll be hoping that the season ends as soon as possible and he can focus on next season. He's good in qualifying, but the races have not gone his way at all. But battle at the front, 3/10 between them, and Rompu's still sticking to the back of the two championship contenders at the moment. We know for a fact if they to come together, if they have a bit of a knock, then Rompu will be there waiting to pounce and will be very glad, I'm sure, to take the race lead here in this one. Rompu just waiting in the wings, watching this unfold in front of them. JR and Didi and Cheese Monkey all in the comments there. Good to see you guys in the YouTube stream right now, but right now it's Tynus looking to try and get back onto Jazzman. Rompu's dropped off a little bit over the course of this lap. You've got MVGT running in fourth ahead of Trail Rider, who's a couple of seconds further back. Cheese Monkey keeping Trail Rider on a string at the moment. Sharka Zulu also close with DeCruno being dragged along with him, as we've got Nelio running in 9th place there. He's 5 seconds clear of Crew Kip. Scooter Red Bull's dropped off on the back of Crew Kip. Crew Kip's got that move done, and in fact Scooter Red Bull's lost out to Sakin Andre here. Sakin Andre down the inside into turn 1 and has got that one done up into 11th place. Nice move there from Sakin Andre. Leximate on the back of Kev, can't get down to turn 1. High Grade watching this battle and trying to get around the outside here. He's got to run here. Leximate's going to have to defend to the inside. High Grade going to look to try and get around the outside. Is he going to go for the cutback? No, in the end Leximate's going to just fend that one off, and Rust the Rebel now might be sensing an opportunity here on High Grade coming down towards turn 4. They want to get a good exit out of this corner, because if you can get a good exit out of here you can really set your opponent up for the next straight, but none of them really seem to be in a position to do that. You've got Raki on the back of these running in 17th place right now, and he will be absolutely waiting for he's one of these drivers to make a mistake or possibly a little slip, but they are all keeping it very clean at the moment. Scooter Red Paul still trying to find a way through ahead of Sakin Andre, but Kev, Leximate, High Grade, Rust the Rebel and Raki, this 5-car train battling it out over 13th place here in this race. Gap at the front, 4/10 between these two championship contenders still, as we just saw the tail end of a little mistake there from Rust the Rebel coming through the chicane, but got away with that. Oh, someone was on the grass. Was that High Grade on the grass? Somebody definitely tagged the grass a little bit. Raki looking to the inside of Rust the Rebel in towards this right hand a little bit too far back, as we can see High Grade tagging the grass there as he tried to avoid Leximate, and Rust the Rebel can't get anything done there with High Grade, but I think that Leximate and High Grade had a little bit of a wobble there. That's allowed Kev just a moment to regroup and just pull away from these guys a little bit, so he can breathe a sigh of, he can he can take a breath of fresh air there. But at the moment, Rust the Rebel's now got Raki looking to his inside, side by side down the start finish straight. Is Raki going to send it? No, they weren't quite side by side. I thought he had that front bumper maybe alongside the rear bumper of Rust the Rebel, but not quite. Rust the Rebel keeping on to that P16 for the time being. Spuzz on the back of these, and Emrosh as well. So Spuzz and Emrosh joining this party for what is a 6-car battle for 14th place here in this race. Technically a 7-car battle, but Kev breaking away a little bit from Leximate, High Grade, Ruster, Raki, Spuzz and Emrosh. Oh no, Spuzz and Emrosh have just come together there. Emrosh onto the gravel. Spuzz is round. Where is Stones? Stones is nowhere near, but Spuzz and Emrosh are going to lose a lot of time, and they're going to drop out of that battle. It was a 7-car train. It's now a 5-car battle for 13th place, but Spuzz potentially got a bit of damage there. Emrosh was on the gravel, keeps it going, and is now well clear of Spuzz, so Emrosh has continued on his way, and Spuzz continues to well, he's carrying on, but he might have a bit of damage on the rear of the car. Battle at the front between the two leaders, Jazzman and Tynus, 8/10 of a second. In fact, it's just gone up to a second there as they're completing lap 7 of the race. But the two championship contenders absolutely blitzing it now, putting away a little bit from Rompu running in 3rd place. You've got MVGT running in 4th place, couple of seconds further back to Trail Rider. Cheese Monkey still hassling the back of Trail Rider as they're coming in towards turn 1, but he's been on the back of him for a while now. Cheese Monkey doesn't seem to have the straight line speed to be able to really put Trail Rider under enough pressure to be able to force him into a mistake. DeCruno and Sharka Zulu about a second off of these guys. They'll definitely be there if they trip over each other. SOP Nelio running in 9th place is actually reeling these guys in, so he could be sensing a P5, a top 5 in this race. You can see that very much within his sights at the moment. 7 seconds better back to Crew Kip. He's falling off for these something rotten at the moment. Zaki and Andre in 11th, Scooter Paul pulling away from this battle here, but Kev has lost out to Leximate. Leximate's into 13th place. He's made that move there as Leximate coming through the first sector, I think probably into turn 2 or maybe into turn 1. He might have got that one done, but Leximate's up in position. High Grade now looking around the outside, looking up the inside, sorry, of Kev. Kev though just manages to squeeze around the outside there. Ross the Rebels dropped off of High Grade by a couple of seconds here. He's still got Raki on the back of him. Raki's going to have a look into the first chicane, but for too far back to make anything happen there. Emrosh a further second off of Raki. Spuzz a long way behind after that collision with Emrosh a few laps ago though. Cheese Monkey within 0.4 of a second of Trail Rider. The gap at the front between Jazzman and Tynus is up to 1.3 seconds, so Jazzman looking like he's in control at the moment here in this race. The Kuno is still within 0.7 of a second of Shaka Zulu at the moment as these two are coming out of the final corner and they're about to complete the 8th lap of the race. Takuno's been putting the pressure on Shaka Zulu since the beginning. There haven't really been many position changes. We've seen Cheese Monkey looking on the Trail Rider. Always he's looking down the inside as Takuno. He's looking for an opening there as Shaka Zulu a bit wide onto the gravel. I tell you what, Takuno is a lot braver on the brakes than Shaka Zulu. And he seems to be getting held up a little bit there, but Shaka Zulu holding his ground as he's within his rights to do. They're battling over track position here. MVGT and still pulling away from Trail Rider and Cheese Monkey. Cheese Monkey just doesn't seem to have the pace down the straights to make anything happen here at this point. Okay, still on the back of Leximate. Leximate made the position, got him to 13th place on the previous lap, but Kev's not let him off the hook, that's for sure. High Grade still very close here, 15th place currently within a second and a half of P13 man Leximate. These have gapped Raki a little bit. He's now 1.2 adrift, but he's still got Emrosh sticking around him, and it's Emrosh sticking to the inside here in towards the first chicane. Is he going to send it? It's actually a faster chicane. You can carry a lot more speed than you think you can, but Raki leaves him the space and Emrosh goes for it, and Emrosh squeezes through there. A little bit aggressive. No! He just got a little bit heavy onto the pedal there and he loses out straight away. I thought he had that move completed, but Emrosh got a little bit hesitant as he put the throttle down. He ended up putting, I think, too much down, and Raki was able to get the position straight back off of him there. But a good little tussle between these two. Leximate still just ahead of Kev. High Grade still following these guys around at the moment. The Trail Rider has actually closed in a bit on MVGT, so Trail Rider and Cheese Monkey bringing themselves into this battle for 4th place. I wonder if MVGT made a mistake on that previous lap. He must have made a small mistake because that gap's come down by quite a bit between those guys. Shaka Zulu still running in 7th place, has got just under a second back to the Kuno, and SOP Nelio is now very much joining this battle. He is hot in the mirrors here of Shaka Zulu and the Kuno at this point. Gap at the front between Jazzman and Tynus is going up and up and up as we speak. It's now nearly 3 seconds, so Jazzman currently with the ascendancy at the moment, looking to try and take his second win in as many weeks. Obviously Tynus took the first 3 races of the season, but Jazzman taking the dominant win last week at Spa and looking to make it another one here. Cheese Monkey still close on the back of Trail Rider here coming into the chicane, but MVGT, they're looking pretty vulnerable to these two. And where's Rompu? Rompu's made a mistake because the gap's now about a second between Rompu and MVGT, so this battle for the podium spots is really opening up. Rompu and MVGT both making small mistakes over the last couple of the laps, each of them making mistakes of their own, and it's really brought Cheese Monkey and Trail Rider into this battle here, so this is going to be an exciting one to keep an eye on. The Kuno still close on the back of Shaka Zulu right now, and Nelio is all over the Kuno. If Nelio gets a good run out of this final corner, this bus stop chicane, he might have an opportunity here to get the move down the start finish. No, he's not going to get the run there. He's not got the traction out the corner. Has SOP Nelio. We see Russ the Rebel and a funny looking guy in the pits. A funny looking guy has been in the pits for some time, so he retired very early on in this one. Russ the Rebel is coming in before the pit window, so that is a little bit of a frustrating one there for Russ the Rebel, because he's now gonna obviously have to come into the pits again. It's not going to count as a mandatory pit stop, so that is going to be a massive kick in the teeth there for him. Gap at the front, 3.8 between Jazzman and Tynus. MVGT still within 0.7 of Rompu at the moment, and Trail Rider and Cheese Monkey still in hot pursuit at the moment. This is a 4-car battle here for 3rd place in this race. Shaka Zulu's still got Dakuno Hassan in the back of him, with Nelio also very much waiting in the wings. Kev's got High Grade, Raki, Emrosh all very close as well. 4 cars battling it out over 14th place. Lexi Mate's managed to gap these by just over a second here. So Lexi Mate in the clear there in P13. But High Grade looking to try and get underneath Kev here. He's not going to get a run up to this corner though, that's for sure. No opportunities really presenting themselves at this point. High Grade having a look into the first chicane, too far back. Not going to make that one happen. I'll tell you what though, Kev saw him coming and got a bit hesitant turning in there. He probably thought High Grade was going to send that one. High Grade's got a good run here coming under the bridge towards the second chicane. He's going to have a look to the inside, try and distract Kev a little bit in the mirrors. High Grade could have sent it up the inside. Oh, I'll tell you what, that was a little bit naughty. Kev sees him coming and High Grade gives him the position back. Sportsman-like behaviour there from High Grade, fair play. He's going to lose out to Raki in the process. So High Grade went all out, and unfortunately for him it didn't pay off. He drops down to P17 there. As we can now see Emrosh looking to the outside. Raki defends very late to the inside, which forces Emrosh to change his line into the corner. But Raki there, I think it's just about hard but fair racing there, that defence from Raki. Down towards the final chicane they come. Emrosh having a little look, trying to feint there on Raki, but Raki holding his ground for the time being. Back to the battle for the podium spots. 3rd, 4th and 5th, Rompu, MVGT and Trail Rider with Cheese Monkey. Oh no! Trail Rider's lost it coming to the first chicane. Tagged that big sausage in the middle of the corner. He loses out there. Cheese Monkey into P5. Trail Rider, it's an easy mistake to make. Unfortunately for him, he's just had a little bit of a slip there and he's down to P6. So that's all that Cheese Monkey needed. And Cheese Monkey's been putting him under pressure for lap after lap after lap. Trail Rider hasn't cracked under it until now, but he's down to P6. Can he come back at these guys and get himself back into this podium fight? Cheese Monkey now into 5th place and is now in a position where he can focus his attention on Rompu and MVGT. Sharka Zulu's on the back of Trail Rider now though. Trail Rider could be in a position where he might lose another position. As we've got OPT Funny Guy in the comments saying Zolder is my most hated track and I forgot to fuel my car up yet again. Oh mate, it goes from bad to worse for you. Gutted that you couldn't be with us a lot for longer in this race. I think you can, I don't know if you're filling up the tank now, I don't know if you're not bothering at this point, but oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. We got Chokazu looking to the inside of Trail Rider into turn 1, a little bit too far back. To Kuno very much on the back of these guys though. Only about half a second separating these 3 drivers. And Nelio also on them as well. So it's a 4-car battle here for 6th place. Raki's still got High Grade hot on his heels, but High Grade having made that mistake, dropped behind Kevin, Raki and Emrosh, but he's got back ahead of Emrosh. So High Grade's done Emrosh at some point over the last lap or so. Raki though looking to try and get onto Kev. Kev very wide there out of the final corner, but actually got away with it. He was all over the grass there, but didn't lose any time as a result. MVGT still close on the back of Rompu. Cheese Monkey waiting in the wings. Trail Rider though has got Ashaka Zulu in hot pursuit at the moment, along with Dakuno and Nelio. Raki looking underneath Kev in towards turn 4. Kev holding that one around the outside. High Grade though pretty close on Raki at the moment. As High Grade has a look to the inside there into the chicane. Nothing doing there though. Very hesitant there coming through the chicane. I tell you what, he doesn't look confident coming through that part of the track. Raki could maybe take advantage of that. He just needs to be in a position, he needs to be putting him under pressure, he needs to be on his rear bumper. And Kev taking a very defensive line. Oh, Draggy gets tagged in the back by High Grade. High Grade there goes around him and High Grade's going to have to wait for Raki there. Raki's round. Emrosh moves through onto the back of Kev, but High Grade there is going to wait for Raki, I think. Or is he? No, he's continuing on his way. Wow. Well then. I don't know if High Grade helped him round. It looked like he got a tap there. Raki, it definitely looked like he got a tap. Maybe he didn't. Maybe I'm misjudging that one. Apologies, High Grade, if I am. It looked like Raki got a tag in the back. Just the way that the rear went on him there. Definitely looked like he had some encouragement, but maybe he didn't. Maybe he did lose that by himself. But nonetheless, High Grade's still going on the back of Kev. Cheese Monkey's got ahead of MVGT into 4th place, so Cheese Monkey making another position here. Trail Rider still hasn't shaken off Sharka Zulu. Sharka Zulu, Dakuno, Nedio still in a 4-car battle for 6th in this race. But Cheese Monkey picking up another driver there up into 4th place, and he's only 1.6 off of Rompu, so Cheese Monkey could be chasing a podium finish here in his first race on the PS5. What a result that would be. Best of the rest behind Jazzman and Tynus is no slouch. Ross the Rebel looks like he's retired the car, hasn't moved for 5 laps, so funny looking guy, retired very early on. Oh no, Trail Rider wide, and Chakazuli's going to look around the outside here. Can he complete that move? On board with Trail Rider as he's trying to hold the inside. Chakazuli round the outside, Trail Rider just covers him off. I'll tell you what though, that's a hairy moment there for Trail Rider as Chakazuli's looking to the inside, but he's not going to make that one stick. But this is great racing here from these 4 guys, Trail Rider, Chakazuli, Dakuno and Nelio. As Dakuno's looking to the inside, you can see him having a look on Chakazuli. They're all trying to mug each other here. High grade still in the back of Kev, and it looks as though M. Roche has made a mistake because he's now well adrift of them, and Spuzz is up into 16th place. So I don't know what happened to M. Roche there, but he's now dropping down the order a bit. Chakazulu on the back of Trail Rider as he has been for the last few laps. Dakuno's dropped back by about a second off of these two, with Nelio still in tow. Trail Rider's started to break away from these a little bit. He's pulled out a bit of a cushion, almost a second here between himself and Chakazulu. High grade has... Is he ahead of him? No, he's still behind. Still behind Raki at the moment. As Cheese Monkey's now within a second of Rompu. Look at this. This is now battle on for that final podium spot. Cheese Monkey has been bringing himself into this race. He started P6, but he's been gradually just picking him off. And he now finds himself standing on the verge of a podium spot here. On board with Nelio as he's wide, coming out of the exit of the chicane there. It's going to drop him a bit of time there to Chakazulu and Dakuno. Trail Rider's broken away from these though. He's 1.3 clear of Chakazulu now. Dakuno will be wanting to get on with this because he's losing time to Trail Rider. Trail Rider pulling away from this pack. Cheese within 0.8 of a second of Rompu at the moment. High grade still pressuring Raki for 16th place in this race. Look at this, look how close this is between Cheese Monkey and Rompu right now. Rompu just clinging on, but Cheese, if he can get a good run coming out of this corner, might be able to set Rompu up. It's BMW versus BMW power, so no real straight line speed advantages here. Cheese is going to have to catch him off guard or outsmart him here. He's looking to the outside, has a little feint to the inside, but Rompu doesn't take the bait really. And Cheese still waiting for an opportunity here. That was good defensive driving there from Rompu. He was very clever about that one. Didn't get too over exuberant. Didn't falter under the pressure. He knew that Cheese was going to try and catch him off guard, but just held his own. JR saying in the comments there, stop looking at Rompu, Andy, with the view of death. Yeah, the commentator's view is actually like a deadly, it's like a basilisk, the commentator's view. It can kill you just by staring at you. Cheese Monkey looking to the outside here of Rompu in towards turn 1. They've got a back marker there just in the way. Stones there moving well off to the side, and does well there, just Stones, to keep out of the way. But MVGT making his way through as well in P5. Cheese still can't get it done with Rompu. Rompu's doing a great job here. Rompu 0 grip at the moment, apparently, according to JR. Presumably in a party chat together. But Cheese Monkey still can't find a way through. Rompu just doing what he needs to do at the moment. But these guys absolutely miles behind the two leaders, Jazzman and Tynus at this point. Pit window's open, crew kit, Saki and Andre in. Those two the first to come in and make their pit stops. As Dakuno, oh, Shaka Zulu's gone deep into the chicane, into the second chicane there, and Dakuno might be able to pick him off. No, Shaka Zulu's going to hold on to that one, and he's really kept the position due to cutting the chicane there, so that's going to be a bit of a sketchy one. Tell you what, if he keeps doing that, then he'll be picking up the track limit warnings, and he won't get away with that one every time, I tell you. He might have been lucky there, but he better not do that one again. Tynus in the pits here at the end of lap 18, so P2 man possibly looking to try and get the undercut on his championship rival Jazzman, who stays out for the time being. And Cheese Monkey and MVGT both pitting here, so following each other in. Cheese Monkey going to try and get the undercut on Rompu for that final podium spot, as Raki's got a comfort between himself and High Grade at the moment, 9/10 now, although High Grade's brought that down coming through the chicane by quite a bit. So the Bentley seems to have the speed over the Lexus through the corners, but Raki's got that straight line speed. As we all know, the Lexus an absolute beast down the straights. JR pit lane might catch those who have not practiced. That's the point, yeah, because the pit lane entry is a nightmare. I tell you what, if Ryan was racing tonight, he would have no hope. Joking. Tynus though has done his pit stop and is out and on his way once again. Cheese is out of his box and he comes out ahead of MVG. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. That's a massive lie. MVGT has jumped Cheese in the pits. Wow. MVGT back ahead of Cheese Monkey. Cheese Monkey was on the back of Rompu fighting it for the podium spots, but MVGT has come out ahead of him. The big news there is that MVGT could be playing himself into contention for a podium spot here with a great pit stop as Jazzman coming into the pits. And now the question is, has Jazzman done enough to cover off Tynus in the house, his rival for the race win? The two championship contenders running 1 and 2 in this race. They're well clear of everybody else. Oh, I tell you what, Tynus needs to be careful. He doesn't want to be doing that too often. Goes very deep into the chicane. Has to rescue it. But Jazzman in the box at the moment. Tynus just coming through into the final sector of the lap. Gap between MVGT and Cheese 3 seconds, but does Cheese Monkey have fresh tyres? That could be why he spent a bit more time in that pit box. But we've got Jazzman in the box at the moment now. Where is Tynus? Tynus is coming into the final chicane. Here he comes. He needs to get a good exit. Jazzman's still in the box. There we go. He's off the jacks. He's off the jacks now. Tynus in the house, coming down the start finish straight. Jazzman, I think, is going to get this done. Jazzman is going to get it done. He holds on to the lead, and he's actually got a bit more of a gap than he did before, I think. So, yep, Jazzman there just coming into turn 2 now. So he's got a couple of seconds back to Tynus, or a second and a half. So he's gained a little bit in the pits as Jazzman, but not much. He's gained a tiny bit of time on, in fact, no, actually, hold on. Maybe not actually, no, because it was about 2.5 seconds. So Tynus has gained a little bit actually on Jazzman. He's gained about a second through the pit window, but Tynus not able to get the jump on Jazzman, and Jazzman still with the ascendancy in this race. And as it stands, we'll have a 3-point championship league going into the final round next week. We're at a halfway point in the race. Lexi Mate, Spuzz, Raki and Kev all in the pits. Trail Rider also coming in. Rompu staying out for the time being. Dakuno also staying out, as is Nelio. Dakuno and Nelio still battling it out for what I think is a net 7th place in this race, I believe. We'll find out once the pit stops are all said and done. But Scuderia Pool also still out there at the moment. So it's Rompu, Dakuno, Nelio, Scuderia Pool and High Grade still yet to come in to make their pit stops. Everybody else has come in and done their pit stops already, as we see Scuderia Pool now diving into the pits to make his stop now. Nelio trying to put the pressure on De Crudo. Almost called him Credeo there. I'd love to know how many times I've called him Credeo tonight. I reckon I've done it at least 3 or 4 times. I don't know actually. Rompu needs to pit, yeah. He needs to get himself in. He needs to try and cover off any potential jumps from MVGT or Cheese Monkey. These two a couple of seconds apart. Cheese Monkey got jumped by MVGT. Question is, did MVGT put tyres on? If he didn't, he could maybe jump Rompu if Rompu puts tyres on. Rompu into the final corner. He's coming into the pits. What about De Cruno? Does he come into the pits or does he stay out? De Cruno's staying out for another lap. Nelio is in. So De Cruno and High Grade, the only drivers still yet to come into the pits and make their stop. So De Cruno's got to come in this lap, otherwise he will face a very hefty time penalty. So Scooter Paul on his way out of the pits now, and Rompu and Nelio currently driving through the pits as it stands. Rompu coming out of the pits now. Now, is he going to jump MVGT and Cheese Monkey? It looks like he is, you know. Rompu's well clear of them. So Rompu's managed to hold on and some more here. MVGT just coming into turn 1 now. Rompu into turn 2. So he's well clear of MVGT and Cheese Monkey. And the run DJC boys will be pretty happy with that one. DD in the comments saying now can pit stop. He's got it, DD. He's done well here as Rompu. And a net P3 in this race. De Cruno still to come in, and he's coming in now. So De Cruno making his pit stop almost at the last opportunity. He would have been able to get around one more lap, but he's playing it safe. Doesn't want to risk making a mistake and then not getting it in the pits in time, because as previously stated, you get a massive time penalty if you don't come into the pits during that pit window. Jazzman will take the lead of the race. He's got 1.2 back to Tynus. So Tynus has closed the gap a bit to Jazzman since the pit windows. Now, I don't know what's the situation with the tyres. I don't know who's put fresh tyres on and who's gambled and attempted to stay on the same set. But it's cold track conditions, so I wouldn't imagine tyre wear's too bad. But just over a second still separating Jazzman and Tynus at the moment, and Rompu running in a net 3rd place in this race. He's got 4 seconds back to MVGT, and Cheese Monkey absolutely throwing the kitchen sink at MVGT right now. This is for a net 4th place in this race, but both of these still be wanting to chase after Rompu, and they're both probably preventing each other from being able to do that at this point. MVGT's gone deep into the bus stop. Cheese Monkey's going to get him on the exit. Cheese Monkey just had to wait that extra second there, but he gets him down the start finish straight. Cheese Monkey into 4th place, and Cheese now only 3 seconds off of Rompu. Ron DJC boys are going to be in the chat. They're going to be backing their man. Rompu doing a great position right now, but Cheese is going to go after him. Hell for leather in the final 20 minutes of this race. 24 minutes still to go in this one. But we're into the final stint of this race. But MVGT, a little mistake there, and Cheese Monkey did not need a second invitation. Trail Rider's got ahead of the Kuno. Oh, has he? They're side by side. Oh, Trail Rider just squeezing around the outside there. Tell you what, let's have a look at the replay. Or can we? I don't know. Because this is the only way that we can get a trackside view. I want to get a trackside view. Maybe this was a bad idea. Yeah, this is a bad idea. I don't know why I did this. Yeah, I think we should go back to the live action. I apologise. Yep, let's go back to the live view. Sorry. I wanted to get a trackside view, but it doesn't look like that. I'll have to practice with the replay. I'll have to get my timings in order. Cheese has a chance for a podium, says Auto Butcher. He does. He very much is in a position where he could challenge Rompu. In fact, look at this. He's gained about 2 seconds over the last lap. So Rompu may be feeling the pressure a bit. He knows Cheese is giving chase. And Rompu very wide there out of the first corner. Got a bit onto the gravel. Dipped a wheel off of the track. But Cheese Monkey will now be smelling blood here. Rompu feeling the pressure a little bit. He knows Cheese Monkey's out after him. And this is now going to be squeaky bum time for Rompu as we're coming through turn 4. And tagging that curve a bit is Cheese Monkey, but it's once again BMW versus BMW. These two battling it out before the pit window, and it was obviously Cheese Monkey's slightly longer pit stop which dropped him down, but now he is once again in prime position. And Rompu goes deep, he goes over that sausage curve there, and now Cheese is going to get him on the run down towards the second chicane, side by side. He's going to, I think, go a little bit later on the brakes there. Cheese Monkey moves across and he gets that one done brilliantly there, Cheese Monkey. Rompu feeling the pressure a bit too much, I think, at the start of the lap. He dipped a wheel onto the gravel. He then made the other mistake coming through the chicane, and that's now Cheese Monkey up into the final podium spot. And Auto Butcher said Cheese with a chance of a podium. He made it happen pretty quickly there to Cheese Monkey. Can Rompu come back in him over the course of the last part of this race? MVGT, though, now very much in this battle. So MVGT will be there and will be ready to pounce. Noticing we lost the driver. Somebody's retired from the race. I don't know who that was. Who was it? Somebody's left the session a couple of minutes ago. We've lost M. Roche. M. Roche has retired from the race. I don't know if he disconnected or if he left the session, but he has unfortunately departed the server. Cheese has already gapped Rompu by about a second since making that move, but Rompu's facing heavy pressure from MVGT. Obviously Cheese Monkey made the move on MVGT a few laps ago, but they've both been chasing after Rompu, and Cheese has now got himself into clean air. Can MVGT do the same? Has MVGT got what it takes to come back at Cheese? Or has Cheese, I think, it's got that superior pace advantage at this point. He is putting daylight between himself and these two ever more. So Cheese Monkey very much with the momentum at the moment over these two. Takuno's still got still on the back of Trail Rider and Nelio, but that battle for 6th place continuing to rage on. Sharka Zulu's got Crew Kip Hast in the back of him for 9th place. Spaz just ahead of High Grade, and Lexi Mate Raki just clinging to the back of these guys as well. Oh, bit of a wiggle there from Lexi Mate. Well, this is great battles throughout the field today. We've had some awesome action. Got 13th, 14th, 15th and 16th. Great Lexi Mate and we've seen Rompu going at it with Cheese Monkey. Cheese Monkey's pulled out a bit of a gap to Rompu and GT over the last few laps, but Miners have been nipping. Rider just clinging on for that P6 for the driven a really solid race tonight as well. All action tonight. It's been great to watch. Still got a 4-car battle going on between Spuz, High Grade, out of that battle. I didn't see what happened to him a few laps ago, but he well and truly lost out in the pit window. GC within 6/10 of Rompu. That's a bit less than that now. It's 3/10 coming down the start finish straight. The AMG would have the pace on the BMW coming down the straight as Rompu wide coming through turn 1. Rompu's really struggling through turn 1. Every time he comes through there, he seems to be getting understeer. But MVGT very wide through turn 2, so kind of evens itself out. But MVGT will have the speed coming down this straight, so Rompu needs to get good traction. The BMW, if the BMW's got one thing, it's definitely traction, and he gets a great exit there out onto the straight, and Rompu for the time being clinging on to that 4th place. These two losing hand over fist to Cheese Monkey running in 3rd place. Trail Rider still clinging on by the skin of his teeth to 6th place ahead of Nelio. These two have actually gapped the Kuno by a little bit over the last lap. Crew Kip is continuing to put the pressure on Sharka Zulu for 9th place. Back to this 4-car battle here for 13th. Still Spuz, High Grade, Lexi Mate and Raki going at it. They're a long way behind Scuderia Paul running in 12th, but Scuderia Paul's miles behind Saki and Andre. And Saki and Andre nowhere near Sharka Zulu and Crew Kip, so we're pretty spread out in the midfield. And then you got this battle where you got these 4 going at it within about 2 seconds of each other. JR, can we give Cheese and MV a 30-second stop go? We could do, but I reckon that they'd probably leave the league and boycott Motive, and yeah, then we'd have a bad reputation as a league that favours certain teams, so I can't oblige on that one, unfortunately. It's just not, no, I can't, I'm sorry. That would be very, very naughty. MVGT trying to duck underneath Rompu here though, as Rompu defending the inside line in towards the first chicane, and nowhere around there for MVGT. They're continuing to lose so much time to Cheese Monkey though. They're 5.6 adrift. While these two are scrapping it out, it's allowing Cheese Monkey to just ride off into the sunset there in that final podium spot. Nelio's still on the back of Trail Rider here. He's going to look to the inside. Is he into the chicane? No, too far back. He's right on his bumper though. And these two coming into this battle with Rompu and MVGT focusing on each other. It's giving Trail Rider and Nelio the impetus to really chase them down. Kuno though, he's dropping off at him. I don't know what's happened to the Kuno. Over the last few laps he seems to be losing a bit of pace. I wonder if he's got some damage, or maybe his tyres going off a bit. Maybe he didn't change tyres in the pits, but the Kuno's pace seems to be going off a little bit. Crew kit within 0.6 of Shaka Zulu still. High grades dropped to about a second adrift of Spuz, but that gap's ebbing and flowing. Lexi and Raki still waiting in the wings. Down the start finish straight we come. MVGT's got the slipstream. Rompu once again defending that inside line. This is the part of the track where Rompu seems to struggle every lap. He's gone deep again into turn 1. Gets it turned in this time though. MVGT looking around the outside. Is he going to send it around the outside, or is he going to go for the cutback? He's going to... Yeah, he's in two minds about that one. Needs to commit to one strategy. You either need to full on send it around the outside, or you need to just break that a little bit earlier, get it turned in and get on the throttle early. You can't be in two minds about it. You've got to decide one way or the other. And MVGT's just not... He's not just saying, right, this is how I'm going to do it. He's not... Oh no! Oh, Trail Rider's tagged out MVGT in the back! Oh no, MVGT's round, he's round. Trail Rider really should be waiting for him there. He continues on his way. He looked like he tagged him in the back. Maybe he didn't. Again, I don't know. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions there, but MVGT's dropped well off at the back of Trail Rider and Nelio now. Rompu now looking pretty safe in that 4th place, but that is a massive shame there for Trail Rider. He was driving a great race tonight. I mean, sorry, MVGT should I say. MVGT, but Trail Rider tagged him in the back there. I think he might have helped him round. It looked like he helped him round. But MVGT down to 8th place here in this one. Very strange incident there. I'm watching the replay now. I'm just looking at the stream. I'm just going to keep an eye on that. Yeah, it definitely looked like he got tagged in the rear. I'm pretty sure Trail Rider tagged him in the back there. Well, he continues on his way anyway. He's got an Elio on the back of him right now. 0.6 between these two for P5 and 6. And this has brought the Kuno back into this battle here. The Kuno now within 2 seconds of 4th place here in this race. So it's ebbing and flowing. It's going back and forth. And it's swinging one way and then the other. And suddenly we've got 4 cars battling over 4th place again. And Elio very wide there out of turn 4. The Kuno's going to maybe have a look. No, he's too far back into turn 1. Thought about it though, didn't he? I tell you what, he's really trying to put Nelio under pressure. And Nelio goes wide. Nelio goes straight on over the first chicane, should I say. Gets away with it. No track limit penalties in this race. I've seen a lot of push in terms of the track limits tonight, so they seem to all be getting away with it, which is a surprise. I haven't seen a single drive-through handed out tonight, so maybe Zolder a little bit lenient. As I say that, literally as I say that, MVGT gets a drive-through and he's retired the car. He's rage quit. He is rage quit there, MVGT. Gets a drive-through here with 10 minutes to go in the race. As Trail Rider still on the back of Rompu, but to be fair, you can understand MVGT's frustration because he got punted round a couple of laps ago when in a really strong position. Trail Rider still trying to get himself onto Rompu if he can in the battle for 4th place. These have actually gapped Nelio a bit. Nelio's dropped off of them ever so slightly over the last couple of laps. He's still got the Kuno very much on his rear bumper though. Crew Kip still hassling Shaka Zulu, but just about a second between him now, so Shaka Zulu looks comfortable in that one as long as he doesn't make a mistake. Sparza's got 1.3 back to high grade. High grade's got Lexi Mate and Raki. Oh, as we see Lexi Mate making a mistake. Raki round the outside is going to move himself. Sorry, not Raki. Yep, Raki. No. Yeah, Raki. No. Oh, yeah, Raki's got that done up into 15th, 14th because MVGT's down to 16th place. So Raki they're getting ahead of Lexi Mate due to Lexi Mate's mistake, and we've lost MVGT there. No surprise. We knew it was coming. We saw him retire the car. I knew he was going to leave the session any moment now, and unfortunately he has retired the car and left the session. Battle for 4th place raging on between Rompu and Trail Rider, and Nelio will be there, will be ready to pounce if these two make a mistake or trip over each other. run. We haven't really spoken about these two, the two championship contenders tonight. Jazzman, as it stands, will take a 3-point lead in the championship. He'll get 2 extra points for the win over Tynus in second, plus the pole position bonus point. So it'll be 3 points in Jazzman's favour going into the final round of the season next week. Make sure you tune in next week, guys. We'll be at Brands Hatch for the final round of the season for the championship decider between Jazzman and Tynus. But Rompu currently still clinging on by the skin of his teeth here ahead of Nelio, and Trail Rider watching, waiting, hoping he can maybe land a knockout blow to these two. As we're in the closing stages of this race now. Leximate on the back of Raki, these two still fighting it out. Obviously we saw Leximate making a mistake a couple of laps ago. Lap car there moving out of the way. That's Kev there actually moving aside for them. He was battling them earlier on. Into turn one we come, Raki still just clinging on there ahead of Leximate. Oh, Trail Rider's off! Trail Rider's on the grass, what's gone on there? Trail Rider goes straight on, and Rompu and Nelio still carrying on, but Trail Rider, I don't know if he got tagged in the back there by Nelio. We saw Trail Rider obviously tag the MVGT round a few laps ago. He's looking to try and get around Rompu. Rompu parking his car on the racing line and then covering that inside line into turn 2. Trail Rider, can he get the Nelio, can he get the cut back here on Rompu? No, Rompu just covering that inside line there, holding that curve on the inside. Nelio's going to try and send it around the outside as he knows he's going to go for the cutback, and he might be able to execute it here. No, Rompu just covers him off. Tell you what though, squeaky bum time here for Rompu. He lost out on the podium spot to Cheese Monkey. Cheese Monkey's pulled out a 13-second gap since then. But Rompu very much on his last legs here. He's got a little bit of a shaky run there coming out of the first chicane. And here's Nelio's chance. He's going to pull alongside, and he will be within send it range here coming into the second chicane, but he breaks early. Rompu deep though. Rompu deep. Tell you what, he's got away with one there. Definitely cut the chicane, but he's clearly not abused all of his track limit warnings yet, so he's managed to get lucky there as we come into the penultimate corner. I'll tell you what though, Nelio is going to try and send it around the outside. Rompu's wise to that one. That would have been a ballsy move there for Nelio. He's going to look to the inside down towards the final chicane though, and Rompu leaves him the space on the inside. Nelio, who's once again not quite as confident on the brakes as Rompu is. Rompu continues to hold it around the outside. Hesitant there from Rompu on the exit of the corner. Nelio still can't make it happen. But great racing from these two. Replay function's busted. It doesn't work. So we can't get any nice trackside views unfortunately for the time being here. The spectator mode's still broken on the PS5. Kunos saw it out. 505, what are you doing? But here we are then. We've got Nelio looking to the outside. The Kuno and Trail Rider still with these two as well. Rompu parking his car. I tell you what, Rompu's struggling at this point. He really is just about keeping his head above water. But Nelio's throwing the kitchen sink at him. Here we come down the start finish, getting as much tip to him as he can. Pulls out to the outside, Rompu covering the inside line. Goes a little bit deep once again into turn 1. But just about gets it stopped. On board with DeCruno, who's watching this, and DeCruno might be able to capitalise on Nelio here. Nelio had to get out of it a little bit there to avoid running into the back of Rompu, but DeCruno can't make it happen. Trail Rider is also going to be there waiting. Oh, no, loose there, coming out of turn 4, and that's going to give Dacuno and Trail Rider both P5 and 6 respectively there. Nelio losing out 2 positions. Trail Rider looking to try and get down underneath Dacuno. Oh, nearly taps him in the rear. And Nelio has to cut the chicane to avoid running into both of them there, and once again that's given Rompu just the opportunity to break away a little bit. Rompu keeps getting let off the hook every time we think, oh, he might be losing that P4. He seems to just cling on. Still all over the back of Rompu. Trail Rider hoping to make the most of these two battling it out, but every time that it looks like something's going to happen and Rompu's going to lose P4, something ends up happening behind him. He's defending into turn 4, which is bizarre because he's compromising his line coming out onto this little straight, and Dacuno is going to get the run again. The Ferrari's straight line speed a little bit better than the BMW's, and Rompu once again defending that line. Dacuno's not going to get around the outside there. He'd be compromised for the next part. Oh, Rompu, massive slide, massive wiggle there as they came out of the corner. I think he's going to cover Dacuno off coming into the second chicane, but he's making life difficult for himself here, is Rompu. And that's giving Trail Rider. Oh no, Nelio! What's happened to Nelio? Yellow flags coming through the middle sector, and Nelio's binned it. And how is he facing the wrong way there? I don't know what's gone off there. Did Nelio and Trail Rider have a ding-dong? Maybe they did. I don't know. And Crewkip, out of nowhere, suddenly on the back of this battle for 4th. But Nelio there's had a moment, and he's now well off. Well, he's retired. He's left the session. So I don't know what happened there to Nelio. But in the meantime, Rompu and Dacuno still going at it, half a second between them. Jazzman will be starting his last lap in a moment. He's just coming to the final sector. But these 4 on their penultimate lap of the race, and Rompu once again wide out of turn 1. Dacuno not in a position to do anything about it though. These are tense times for Rompu, I tell you. He's been in that P4 for what seems like ages now, and every time he just seems to hold on and keep clinging on to that P4. But he's been hard pushed to keep that position. Raki's still on the back of High Grade. These two going at it for 12th place in this race. They've been moving up positions left, right and centre, with drivers in front of them retiring or crashing or doing all sorts. As Dacuno straight on over the chicane, and he's got a drive through. That's been coming. I tell you what, we've seen a lot of advantage being taken through that corner, and he's going to need to come in this lap because he's only got one chance to do it. So Dacuno needs to be in this time around. That will drop him probably down to, I would say, probably P9. I reckon he's going to drop to P9. He'll probably come out behind Saki and Andre, but ahead of Scuderia Paul. So Dacuno there will lose a few positions, not too many points, but that'll be frustrating for him as he was in that battle for P4. But Rompu, as we said before, Rompu, every time that somebody's close on him, they just seem to make a mistake, and it's happened again. Rompu has just got to see this one out. He's got a couple of seconds back to Trail Rider running in 5th, but Jazzman coming into the final chicane, and he's going to take the lead in the championship. Is Jazzman. He was tied on points with Tinus before this one. He's now going to have a 3-point lead going into the final round of the season next week at Brands Hatch. Jazzman takes the checkered flag, and he's got the ascendancy for the first time this season. He leads the GT3 championship for the PlayStation 5 here at Motive. Does some celebratory donuts there at the end. Tinus comes over to take 2nd place. The championship rolls on to the final round of the season. 3 points, as we said. This is battle on between these two. Well, I can't wait to see what happens in the final race. Cheese Monkey's going to take P3 in this race. He's coming to the final few corners now. Rompu will hold on for 4th. Crew Kip's throwing a kitchen sink at Trail Rider in the final part of this race. But Cheese Monkey in towards the bus stop. Tell you what, what's going to happen here between High Grade and Raki? High Grade, I think, is just going to hold on here ahead of Raki for 12th place. So Saki and Andres finished in 9th ahead of Scooter Ripple 10th. Spuzz comes over in 11th ahead of High Grade in 12th. Raki comes over to take P13 in this race. Cheese Monkey finished in 3rd. Rompu's coming through the final few corners now. Leximate up towards the line to take P14 in this race. Kev is just coming in towards the final chicane. Rompu just behind him on the track. So it's going to be Kev out in the final corner to take P15 here at Zolder for round 5 of the season. Rompu comes over to take 4th place in this race. Some great points there for Rompu. Holds off Trail Rider, and Crew Kip really came at Trail Rider at the end there, but couldn't quite get P5. So it's 6th for Crew Kip. Trail Rider 5th place in the race. Sharkazuda comes over to take 7th. The Crew now in 8th. Rust the Rebel finished the race. He's done. He's already finished. So Sharkazuda 7th, and Dakuno will be the last driver to finish the race. Despite that drive-through getting a P8, nonetheless a great performance there from Dakuno. Really was in the thick of it tonight in the battles. Was in contention for a P4 at the end with that without that drive-through, but nonetheless a good showing from him. But that is that, ladies and gentlemen, for round 5 of the PS5 GT3's championship. Rolls on to next week with Jazzman and Tyler separated by 3 points in favour of Jazzman, taking his 2nd win of the season tonight. Guys, make sure you tune in next week, same place, same time. We'll be live from 7:30 p.m. BST UK time at Brands Hatch. Also tune in for the PS4 GT3s. That will reach its conclusion next week. Championship on the line between MTL Bloodshot and Rocco for that one. Tune in at 5:45 p.m. for that one. But thanks everybody once again. A big thank you to everybody who joined us live on the stream. Drop a like if you haven't already, guys. Thanks to everybody who commented, who gave us the support here. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Take it easy, everybody. We'll catch you in the next one. Good night.
Tornado.